welcome to, I guess I'm really not on the food scene today. I am here on the lodging scene, and I've never done a video in a bathroom, but this bathroom is by far one of the most unique ones. And with me today is Greg Henderson, who is the owner of the Roxbury Motel, better known as the Roxbury Contemporary Catskill Lodging.
Thank you.
What a beautiful, beautiful experience this has been.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Where are we right now? Tell us.
You are in my childhood fantasy. You're in the genie bottle bathroom of one of our two-bedroom suites called Genie's Bottle. So it was like, you know, as a kid growing up with 60s and 70s TV shows kind of in reruns by then, this was one of my childhood favorites. So when we decided to start doing theme rooms at the Roxbury, the first one I knew I had to do was to somehow create a space that made you feel like you were inside of a genie's bottle.
And I sure feel like that. Point out a few of the unique features of this bathroom, if you would.
Well, one of the first would be the solar light, which is the mouth of the bottle. And sometimes people get confused and think that that is actually operated by a light switch, but that is indeed a solar tube that goes up out to the roof, meaning to be the neck of the bottle. Another feature would be the tile. It all glitters and sparkles like Genie's Bottle did, and this we found from a wonderful tile broker here in New York State, out of Binghamton, New York, a woman by the name of Susan Jablon, who has incredible tile creations.
I've noticed that throughout your property.
Yeah.
The tiles, you must have every color under the sun.
I think pretty close to it, we do. And unfortunately, usually the sparkle on video and still photos, you can't quite grasp all of it, but hopefully you're grasping it now with this, but sometimes you don't get the full effect of the sparkle. But anyway, other features would be we have Aladdin-shaped faucetry. If you look at the shape of things like where the towels are under the sink or where the television is here, we created sort of the Byzantine arabesque genie shape there. Where I am right now was a space constraint, but it wound up being a fun thing. Originally I wanted, a full, large, two-person soaking tub in here like we have in the suite that you stayed in. But once the dome was created for Genie's Bottle, we realized we don't have the room for it, so I went online and found what is called a Japanese soaking tub. I like to think that I'm kind of worldly, but I guess I'm not that worldly, because I didn't realize that the Japanese bathe sitting down instead of reclining. So, I mean, not all of them, but this is very popular in Japan. So this has actually become a very unique feature of this suite, and people leave thinking, wow, it really is just as relaxing to bathe sitting up when you've got 85 gallons of water around you as it is lying down.
Now, what were you thinking in the conceptualization of the property? Every room is unique, different themes. What are some of the other themes?
Well, first of all, I should say that we don't recreate real sets. Number one, that wouldn't be fun because someone has already, done a design. And number two, there's probably copyright laws. Although most of this is what's called in the domain of pop culture. We don't reproduce anything like it really was. It's all inspired by the colors, the textures, the feel of the shows and films of that era. So we have Charlie's Angels, we have the film Saturday Night Fever, which has the whole place lights up like the dance floor in Saturday Night Fever. We have Amadeus's Bride from the film Amadeus, which is where you stayed. We have a suite called the Noir Boudoir, which is inspired by the Addams Family, as well as other sort of, not just kind of horror TV shows like The Munsters, but also kind of film noir. We have
the attention to detail in the rooms is just fascinating to me.
Well, it's OCD finding its outlet, I think. It's like, I didn't start this until I was 40, and it's kind of like, life leads you to where you're supposed to be, I think. So I think some things that were probably not well suited for other careers are now well suited in the hospitality industry.
Now your background fell into sort of this design theater
Actually, no. Well, theater, yes. I would have never been in design. My partner and I met doing theater. We were actors, and he was a playwright and had a theater company. So we certainly, and we were involved with creating sets. But this was off Broadway. You know, some of the interviews that we've done, the media has made us like Broadway moguls. We were not. We were, you know, off Broadway. You know, finding. Joe created one set which had an operational kitchen sink in it, and it was a garden hose in the back of the theater making the water come out. You know, so the sort of figuring things out, I think we've always had, but we never did, you know, certainly things with this kind of budget. But then after the theater, I wound up on Wall Street through a weird twist of fate, kind of in the heyday of the beginning of the explosion of the internet in the late 90s and early 2000s. And in that stint, which at first was nice because I'd been accustomed to being a starving actor, but I learned a lot about internet marketing and sort of marketing and PR in general, but then became miserable because I wasn't really able to be creative. So we had bought a weekend home in the Catskills and started to try to figure out how to change our lives, and the rest is...
And this is history. Wow. Kids must love coming to this hotel with their parents.
They do. It's so much fun to watch the kind of the expression of glee, you know, from the colors and the textures and the things that are very childlike. I mean, I often say, you know, I'm a sucker for sparkle, as you've probably noticed around. I'm like a 7-year-old girl, you know. So, but it's funny because you see the little boys when they come into this suite, or the genie suite with all the pink, and they may be of that age where society has told them that it's not right, and you see the excitement, and then it's like the struggle. Should I act like I'm supposed to like it or not? And usually the excitement wins over.
Great. Well, we're going to go and visit another one of your suites.
Okay.
And hold on, you're going to be in for another surprise. So
Great.
part 2 to come. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Great.